I fear my frontal lobe has developed. Because why is my life hanging by a thread and I'm okay with it? I'm okay with having one thread. I don't need 100. I feel overwhelmed if I have 100. I feel like I'm not myself if I have 100. I feel young if I have 100. And I mean this in so many different ways. Hi guys, welcome back to the Girl Math Podcast. I'm Kori Blonde, your host, and today I want to talk about my frontal fucking lobe because what the fuck? I don't know who I am right now. There's so many things I want to dive into today. It's a bit much, but first and foremost, I have got rid of all the new clothes that I only just bought a couple months ago, and I gave them to charity because I just had too much, and I've had a problem with a shopping addiction for quite some time. Like, maybe it's probably been implemented in my life for quite a long time, but like it's been really bad this year. Ever since I moved out of London, I've realised I don't actually need a lot, and I need to stop consuming and buying and being influenced by things on TikTok and things I don't need. And hear me out, I like nature. I like nature, guys. I like nature. I don't like owning loads of different things. I don't like busyness. I love minimalism. Like, this is not me. I've actually come to embrace the feeling of losing everything, and I quite like it. I quite like the fact that my life is hanging by a thread, because it almost gives me hope that my life is going to get better. And I feel like when my life is good, I almost get worried, probably because I'm not used to my life being good for that long, because there's always something wrong with me or something going on in my life. So when I have something good, or when something's stagnant, maybe good is the wrong word, when something is stagnant and I feel like I haven't gone through something, even if it's minor or major, or I haven't grown from anything, I haven't learned from anything, then I'm not being a human, and that terrifies me in the weirdest way. So yeah, I've been learning to kind of embrace the failure, I guess you could say. So that's been quite fun. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if I'm just delusional because I've been going through so much shit recently that my brain is just like, here's happiness. Like, I don't get it. Like, any person that would see what I've been going through would be like, Kori, are you okay? Like, are you sure you're fine? Like, you should be crying right now. But I'm not. I'm actually fine. I'm actually okay. Maybe I'm going through a manic episode. I don't know. But I'm actually okay. And it made me realise bad things can happen to you, but it's actually about what you do with those bad things. It's not necessarily what happens to you, because you can't control what happens to you 9 times out of 10. And bad shit does happen. You know, obviously bad shit does happen, and you're valid for feeling that you're sad because of it or whatever. But bad shit happens, and you try and control all the bad shit, but realistically you can't control shit, and all you can control is how you deal with it. And yeah, I just feel like I feel so positive right now, but this probably won't last very long, and I'll probably start crying later. I swear to fuck. The science behind your prefrontal fucking lobe. Let's talk about it. So your frontal lobe develops. Everyone's frontal lobe fully develops between their mid to late 20s. So you don't need to worry about never maturing, because you scientifically, biologically will. Your frontal lobe is a part of your free fucking frontal cortex. Oh my god. I'm so angry. It's fine. I feel so positive right now. Your frontal lobe is a part of your prefrontal cortex, and your prefrontal cortex is the last thing to fully develop in your brain. Oh my god, I swear to god, fuck off. Literally fuck off. So your frontal lobe is a part of your prefrontal cortex, which is actually the last thing in your brain to ever mature, and it is responsible for reasoning and emotional regulation. So that is the science behind your frontal lobe, and it develops for everyone. And if you're in your mid to late 20s, or even my age, right before your mid 20s, and you're already beginning to see the signs, these are the signs, in my personal opinion. Okay, the first one being that I don't like owning shit. I have had a really bad shopping addiction for as long as I've ever known. As long as I've ever had money in my bank, it's never seen the light of day. Well, it has, actually. It's seen more light of day than my bank account, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I literally bought a whole wardrobe of clothes a couple months ago, even a couple weeks ago. But recently, I have thrown out all of that and given it to Salvation Army. I haven't even worn the new clothes. I couldn't even be bothered to sell them on Vinted. I could not be bothered. I just gave them away to people. I put them on my Instagram story on the podcast. I gave them to charity, and I'm giving them to my friends. I just don't want them. I colour-coded my rail to things that I actually wear. There is actually a psychology behind decluttering, which is it helps your focus and reduces all the visual stimulation that causes your brain to be sad and overwhelmed. And that is definitely me. Like, why did I buy this? This gives me the ick now. This is a hot water bottle and it's a sloth. Why the fuck did I buy this? But you know what? It's still kind of cute and I'll still use it because I don't actually want to get rid of it because it's a hot water bottle. But you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, I have cleared out a lot of my stuff. It does have me thinking, was my shopping addiction escaping from sadness? Or was it the fact that I was just immature? I don't know, and just bad with money, but we'll never know, I guess, until I'm older. As your brain matures, you kind of start to prioritize things that you wouldn't normally prioritize. I'll give you an example. I love nature. Maybe that was a bad example, actually, but I like crave earth, and it's so weird because I'm just like, I need to just touch grass and not be around loads of people and not go out drinking and go for long walks, read a book instead of scroll on my phone for hours and go out drinking, you know? Like, I would much prefer to do those things. So it's a bit conflicting because I'm in the point of my 20s where I want to live my life, but at the same time, I want to settle down. But I'm more so on the settle down side because I feel like I've had my time. I feel like, I don't know, I probably have got it out my system. Like, I have had a pretty crazy childhood of doing stupid stuff, but then at the same time, I haven't. And I've been pretty sensible. So, I don't know. I just think there's no rush to grow up, though. That's the thing. Everyone's in their own lane, and it's really important to stay on your own path because it's really self-explanatory, but you are exactly where you need to be, and you don't need to start stressing about why things aren't working out for you. Because hear me out. There are bad things that happen to you, but it's about what you do to them. Because you can't control what people say or whatever, but what you can control is how you come back from that. I have come to learn that scrolling on my phone on TikTok is not going to do me any benefit for my anxiety. It's actually going to feed it and make it worse, because at night time is when I get anxiety, and when I scroll on my phone, what comes up? Stuff about health, and like, I have health anxiety, so when I see it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually going to die with this one symptom, and then I start spiraling. However, if I wake up and I like think about what I'm grateful for, it sounds really cringy and cliche, but if I wake up and I think of what I'm grateful for, 10 things I'm grateful for, 5 things I'm grateful for, 3 things I'm grateful for, I go on a 10-minute walk with my dog, I get some air, I read 2 pages of a book a day, I'm not using poor words against myself, I'm actually going to have a good day. Like, I'm actually, hating myself isn't actually cool anymore. You know what I mean? So that was really interesting to think about. It's definitely a skill to develop, I won't lie, because I'm still very negative as a person internally, but there's definitely progress there. So shifting your values as your brain develops is a very, very, very important one, because your values is what makes you up as a person. And I was talking to my friend about this the other day. I actually think your experience with people is the most valuable thing that you'll ever have to learn. Being by yourself, sure, you'll learn loads of stuff in life, but not to the degree that you will if you experience it. It's what you learn from that experience and how you find yourself again is what's most important. Like, you can lose yourself all you want, be my guest, but it's literally about finding yourself again is the most crucial part. It's what you do with it. Like, I'm actually an advocate for losing yourself. I think it's really good, as long as you don't take it too far. As the brain matures, your priorities will shift. So I used to really prioritize possessions over experiences, and now I prioritize experiences over possessions, and I just want to get rid of everything in my room and start again. And I have. And my last episode was about starting again. Like, I'm all about personal growth now. Literally call me David Goggins at this point. The shift often stems from your improved ability to weigh in of what truly matters. The neuroplasticity of your brain is constantly adapting, and it always reinforces new values and behaviors. So, you know, when you hear like, oh, rewire your brain, your brain is wired to think certain things. But as your brain develops and as you go through different experiences, traumas and whatever, your brain is going to learn different pathways. And it's very, very possible to train your brain out of a fear or an anxiety, or it's hard, it's really fucking hard, and I won't sit here and say that like I've managed to completely do that, because I haven't, but I've definitely got better. It's just really important to remember at the end of the day, what once seemed like gold at the time will often be the aluminium. I don't think that was a very good quote. I'm not a good scientist. You know, when you look back at something and you're like, why did I put up with that? Well, that's because you didn't know any better at the time, and your values were different and your morals were different, and you didn't really know who you were, and that's fine. Like, no one knows. Like, you can't expect a 12-year-old, a 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old to know what the fuck they're doing with their lives. Even now. But like, yeah. I want to talk about minimalism and the health benefits to it, because minimalism doesn't mean you're depriving yourself from things that you need. It just kind of clarifies to you what you don't. You know, when I spoke about decision fatigue earlier, is minimalism can actually reduce anxiety and decision fatigue. So, you know, when they say tidy desk, tidy mind, tidy room, tidy mind, my teacher would always tell me, tidy your desk, because you've got tidy desk, tidy mind. And I was like, you know what? Tidy your fucking asshole, because I don't care. Because if you're telling a 13 to 16-year-old to tidy their room, they're not going to do it. They're not going to want to do it. They're just going to see it as annoying and a chore, and probably get more pissed off by the end of it. So as you grow older and you start to decide for yourself, I'm going to clean my room today, and you end up throwing out a bunch of shit, do you feel better? Yeah, you feel like a whole new person. I want to then go on Pinterest and reinvent my whole life and be a completely different person. There's actually studies that show, I read this earlier, there's studies that show that having a minimalistic life can create greater life satisfaction. And I always used to say this to people that I was in London with, because I feel like where they were headed was absolutely amazing, and they're going to go on and achieve amazing things. They're very driven. But I quickly realised that those things are not going to bring long-term happiness and long-term fulfillment. Sure, money's great, it's really great, it's going to give you your freedom and, I guess in some aspects, long-term fulfillment, but at the end of the day, are you really truly going to be happy? It's like being with someone. I'll give you an example. It's like being with someone just for money. That is just morally wrong, for one. But two, sure, you can have all the money in the world, but if you make me feel like shit, a piece of shit on your shoe, if you make me feel less than, if you make me feel unloved, I'm going to be so fucking unhappy, and I'm going to probably hate my life. And I would prefer, personally, to choose happiness over money. And I don't think money brings happiness at all. Sure, it can bring therapy, which can ultimately bring happiness, but it can bring a lot of things. But if you're with the wrong people that make money, that's what I'm trying to say. You can make your own money and feel a type of way, but I just think, yeah, if you're with the wrong people and they make you feel like shit, you're gonna look at it really differently. And a lot of people are chasing something that you're never really gonna enjoy the fruits of your labor for. You know, like, we're on this life for a very limited amount of time, and it's not really, at the end of the day, about paper. Like, it's literally about your experiences and the people you're around, the people you love, and you'll figure it out. You will literally figure out the money problem. It will come, it will go. You can make money, you cannot make money. Money comes and goes. It's literally just a currency, it flows. Oh my god, I should be a rapper. The thing is about money, I've never really been one to chase it, because my values have always lied with doing what makes me happy and my passions, and not really chasing the bag. Like, obviously the bag would be nice, And the bag does bring happiness to a lot of a degree, because sure, you can get therapy and that can bring you some type of happiness. You can go to Pilates every other day or every day if you wanted to, if you have money, and you will be fit and healthy, and that will bring you endorphins and that will bring you happiness, sure. But I'm talking about deep fulfillment. Like, money does not bring deep fulfillment. It can bring deep achievement, and you can prove people wrong in a lot of ways, and I think it's amazing. And you can go from poor to rich, and it's an amazing story and it's amazing come up. But at the end of the day, I've seen what money makes people like, and 9 times out of 10 it's not amazing. And I'm going to try and put this in like the simplest way. You can be with someone that is financially there, right? You see all these girls and they're like, I want a sugar daddy, I want someone that's got loads and loads of money. Do you though? I mean, unless you really don't want the emotional connection and you just want money, as I said, like you don't want love, you're emotionally unavailable basically, then sure, go ahead. But if you are emotionally available and you want to seek love and stuff, money should never ever ever be the forefront of it, because trust me, it won't give you happiness. If you're with the wrong person that makes money, they're going to make you feel like fucking shit, less than, and you're going to be so unhappy. Like, you never want to be like that, because at the end of the day, that's going to be really lonely. I don't want someone to not love me in the way I want to be loved but have money. Like, what's the point in that? Literally, what is the point in that? Sure, I can go do cool things, but I want to do cool things with someone that loves me. I want to do cool things that someone that loves me like I love them. And I don't want something that's disingenuous or just a transactional type of love, you know? So that's why I'm definitely more of the emotional person, and that's okay. Yeah, everyone wants different things out of life. That's basically what it is, and you've just got to find someone that matches that. And yeah, obviously money would be great, and it is a massive stress. We're in a fucking cost of living, and it is shit, because, you know, wouldn't everyone love to be rich? But, you know, that's not always what brings you true fulfillment and happiness. And I guess that's what people mean by money doesn't bring you happiness, because it doesn't deeply fulfill you. But sure, like, thing is, I've said before, I really think money can bring happiness to a lot of a degree, because you've got stability, you don't have to worry, you can help other people with it, you can do amazing things with money, and it can really, really be good. But it can also turn people bad, and it can turn people in a way that's not great. And yeah, I think that's just really important to know. I don't know if that was a bit of a sidetrack. I could talk about that all day, but yeah, obviously money is great, but it's not the be all or end all of life. Because that, in that sense, I do feel like an old woman, because I have those outlooks on life where I could already see the route that people were heading, and it was a very, very, very lonely route. And I just think I'm so glad I've realised this now, because otherwise I'll get older and I'll regret it. I had a very, very, very interesting conversation with my nan, and she said, Kori, if there was one piece of advice I could ever give you, it's that you should never, ever, ever follow the footsteps of a man, because I regret not doing the things that I wanted to do and making my own money and providing for myself. And someone else's money will never give you joy. It will never give you happiness. And you're just going to be stuck in someone else's dream, living out someone else's life. And I've always been someone that, hell, I even don't really like working for other people a lot of the time, because I have my own ambitions, dreams and goals. And that has just been the way I work for me personally. I don't like being told what to do. Maybe that's just stubbornness, but my frontal lobe is definitely starting to develop. And I'm definitely not all the way there, but I'm definitely getting there. And it's concerning that some people older than me still have really, really immature outlooks on life, but I think they just haven't done the inner work as well, which is another thing. Like, I can meet someone the same age as me, and they're emotionally way more mature than anyone else that I've ever met. I think it's just important to surround yourself with people that actually stimulate you emotionally as well as intellectually, because I'm the type of person that cannot connect with someone that's not emotionally mature, if that makes sense. Like, I have to have deep-rooted conversations to feel connected to you. And that might seem high maintenance, but don't you just love a deep chat? Like, that's how I get to know someone. That's why I struggle to be fake, actually. It really is. Like, I've spoken about this on the podcast before, like meeting new people. And this is why I don't really like social events and small talk, because small talk just feels so disingenuous to me. And I'm just like, this is so surface level. Like, I can't gauge who you are as a person on a surface level. But yeah, I could talk about this all day, but I do need to get to a job interview in like 20 minutes, and I need water, and I need to socially recharge after that. But yeah, declutter your space. It will make you feel better. Pinterest boards and deep emotional connection. Those are the 3 takeaways for today. But I hope you enjoyed the podcast episode, and I will chat to you guys next week. I have to go. Goodbye.